Everyone doing? Hope everyone's all right. My name's Coda. As you'll know if you subscribe to me. If you don't subscribe to me, my name's Coda. I'm a reformed criminal. I do interviews with the media now on gun crime, knife crime, policing issues, prison reforms, prison issues, drugs, legalise, all them sorts of things I've got experiences of. Right, I'm here today to speak about policing levels here in the UK in 2016, policing problems and everything else, attitudes towards the police, things like that. Right, well, where to start? Right, well, we're in August 2016, and there's with the government cutbacks and stuff like that, there are not the numbers of police on the street. Police are seen in uniform as a visual deterrent. Right, i.e. not to commit crime, i.e. so people feel safe. Right, well, ask yourself, when was the last time, I live in Manchester City Centre, well, near Manchester City Centre, and I don't see them. They're non-existent. They're either sat behind desks, chasing the tails, or raiding wrong people's houses, as I saw in the Manchester Evening News the other day, when a load of armed police with G36 submachine guns and 9mm Glock pistols were looking for a suspect in a shooting and ended up raiding an 85-year-old woman's house. Yeah. So, and police wonder why people don't speak to them. I'm speaking today, like I say, as a reformed criminal, as a criminal, anti-establishment, anti-authority, anti-police, all these things, right? So where are they today? You don't see them, do you? And when crimes are committed, like robberies and shit, and house robberies and burglaries, they're turning up 36, 46 hours later. So what? Because there simply are not numbers of the police on the streets now. 4 people have been stabbed to death in the past 2 weeks. 4 people stabbed to death in 2 weeks in London. There's been, fucking hell, can't even tell you how many shootings here in Manchester and Salford. Again, as usual, Gunchester, the old media headlines of old. And the simple, just people used to wait till night time, till nightfall, to go and commit stabbings, shootings, and everything else. And now people are doing it in the day. It's like the OK Corral. People don't respect the police because the police are not on the streets. Many parts of society in intercity estates in Manchester are feral. There's a general establishment, anti-authority attitude on these estates. 20, 30, 40 years ago, people respected the police, feared them, and everything else, but not today. People tell the police to fuck off. Even kids, when I was a kid, I was petrified of the police. Petrified. First time I got arrested, right, I'm ashamed to say this, cried my eyes out like a baby because I was shit scared. Well, mainly because I knew what I was going to get when I got home. But yeah. But look at today. I've now got police assault on my record. So that shows attitudes towards police as I've grown up and older. And then I got stitched up by the police with no evidence and ended up going to prison on remand on a witness intimidation charge with no evidence at all because it simply didn't happen. So when I got out of prison, obviously my attitude towards the police was hate-filled even more because they fucking lied and they knew there was no evidence, and I still ended up in prison because the police are fucking lying scumbags. But on the flip side of that, they've got targets to hit and there's a lot of pressure on them. They're overstretched, they are overworked, and they are massively understaffed. Now, it's not just a slagging the police off thing, it's a fucking fact. People on these estates, right? This is a fact, right? People on these intercity estates and stuff are turning now to gangsters, criminals, feared heads on the estate, fucking hard men on the estates, to come in to sort out everything from antisocial behaviour to thefts and everything in between, to disputes and everything. And they're stepping in because, number one, they turn up. Obviously, the police don't. 36, 48 hours. The people are long gone. high levels. People are turning to criminals and gangs and gangsters and hard men simply because the faith in the police has dwindled, with soaring crime rates, with like lower numbers of police than there's ever been, and with the fact that the all you see in the papers is police corruption, and then there's actually the racism within the police brutality, and everything else. So people are not inclined to speak to police. They don't want to speak to the police. They don't want to communicate with the police. They don't want to give the police tip-offs, and rightfully so as well. And then you see programs like fucking Crime Watch, or Crime Stoppers, where the police are, please tell us, because I ain't got a fucking clue what we're doing. Right? The simple fact is I look at it from both sides of the coin. Me, as a reformed criminal that doesn't like the police and is anti-authority and is anti-establishment, and I also look at it the fact of like the police do a very hard job in very difficult circumstances with a very limited budget, which is getting smaller and smaller all the time. And then you've got all these like crimes across the board, what the police have got to try and like stop, right? Now, what the police do, right? They can't put all the like finances across the board because certain crimes take priority more than other crimes. Like here in Manchester, we have a problem with gun crime. According to Greater Manchester Police and the Chief Constable, there isn't a problem with gun crime here in Manchester. Well, there fucking is, and it's all over the media, so make of that what you will. So yeah, they can't put... So what the police do, they put all the finances into, like, rather than spreading it across the board, they put it into, like, certain, like, they put, like, gun crime, knife crime, anti-terror sort of things. Like anti-terror is a big thing at the moment with the like security threat and stuff like that, and obviously there's going to be there's a threat to the UK. It's obviously quite imminent, and it's overdue, to be honest. I mean, we've been expecting it for a long time. So what the police are doing is they're throwing all the finances. Oh, we'll go after this, we'll go after that, and then when that comes up, then something else will pop up because there's more criminals than there are police officers. Across the board, from small crime up to murder and everything else. And like I say, the attitudes towards the police are like, I tweeted some Scottish commissioner for crime or something in Scotland. I can't remember his name. And I just said, like, it's like a green light for criminals to go and commit these sorts of offences. Now, I'm not telling people to go out and commit crime. I'm not stupid. But if people want to go out and commit crime, like, you can do it, and the chances of you getting caught, unless you're stupid and you get caught on fucking CCTV, or you leave fingerprints, or you leave DNA at a scene of a crime, then chances are you're not going to get caught because the police don't... I've just seen something today in the Daily Record, which is a Scottish newspaper, saying that the police are not investigating drug dealers now. Right, now let me tell you, right, fucking not investigating drug dealers, right? I've been involved in the drug game, right? Now, you just laugh, don't you, when you hear these fucking things like not investigating drug dealers. This is from the police. Like, this isn't me making it up. This is from the police. So, like I say, soaring crime rates, less and less police on the streets. People, law-abiding citizens, have lost faith in the police. People on the estates, they don't speak to the police anyway, and their kids and their kids' kids and their kids' kids are taught you don't like the police, right? And then the gaps between the haves and have-nots, the rich and the poor, is getting bigger year on year. So people wonder, so the police and these politicians and MPs and all these corrupt fuckers wonder why people commit crime. They're buying dodgy fags, they're buying knockoff DVDs and fucking CDs and stuff, and obviously drugs and fucking legalise and theft and fraud and things like that. It's because they need to. A lot of people need to commit crime to feed themselves, to feed the habits, and to feed the families. I don't think there's a want for a lot of people to commit crime. Obviously, there is a lot of people out there that commit crime because they want to, but a lot of people commit crime because they want to feed their families, right? And that might sound far-fetched in 2016 in the 21st century in a developed country like England, but it's just a fact. People have to cut corners. I mean, look at the MP's expenses scandal. They're doing the taxpayer out of money, right? By hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds a year, and these people sit pretty earning 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 grand a year, fucking like money for like a year, like jobs and stuff, and they've got 2 houses and living bubbles and champagne fucking Charlies, you know what I mean? Speaking with a plum in a mouth. And then there's people like you and I that, like, while they're laughing on the way to the bank, we're laughing on the way to the food. We're on the way to the food bank. So crime is developed from poverty, I believe, a lot of it, not all of it, because there are a lot of rich criminals out there. But it's definitely a problem. Like I say, with less and less police on the streets, more organised criminals. Look at the riots, for example, right, in 2011. I was the face of the riots on BBC Newsnight, right? Now, I said on the programme that the riots were orchestrated last minute to an extent with social media and Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of crap. But it wasn't planned and it wasn't pre-orchestrated. It was lastminute.com, right? So what I said on the programme was, if the riots happen again and it was more orchestrated and more pre-planned and more people turned up with less numbers of the police couldn't stop that many people. So if it happened again and more people came, it was more pre-planned and pre-orchestrated, there's nothing they could do about it. And like I say, I don't feel sorry for the police. I really, really don't. I mean, but the thing is, the drop in, the cuts in police numbers, I believe, personally, that the police and the CPS then are forced, because I do believe they've got targets, I do believe they have certain targets they've got to meet. Now, what I think happens is there's extra pressure put on the police then. So what the police do is they arrest people, and where a few years ago they'd be like, right, there's not enough evidence to proceed with the prosecution now, and you get NFA'd, no further action, back in the day. Now, I think they charge you, because I think there's under pressure to hit targets and stuff. Shit rolls downhill, and unfortunately, people, we're at the bottom of that hill. Whether it be from government to the police to the MPs to us, we're at the bottom, people, and we get shit on big time. I don't like the police because of the way the police treat people. I've been turned over by the police. I've been twisted up. I've been arrested by armed police. Yes, I used to be a criminal, I admit that, yeah. So all the goody two-shoes that want to throw that out, you as a criminal, you deserve to be twisted up. Yeah, fucking, like, you're a well-considered opinion, mate, but if I wanted to hear from an arsehole, I'd fart. Yeah, I just think attitudes towards the police have changed over the past 10, 20, 30 years. I think the gaps between the police, like the communication between the police and the public now is non-existent. The police are non-existent. The police, we live in a city which is, to my knowledge and to what I see from an everyday Joe's perspective, is that the police are a non-entity here in Manchester. It's a lawless city. We have little or no respect for the police, and crime is a massive problem across the United Kingdom, from small villages to cities across the UK. No matter where you live, crime is a big, big problem. Ask yourself, honestly, when was the last time you saw your local Bobby on the beat? Tell me. Doesn't happen. An incident happens, someone will get shot in Manchester, like happened last week down in Harpray, and the police will turn up, they'll put a load of tape up, they'll get scenes of crime down, and then what happens? They're on a fruitless task. I can't even tell you how many, like, unsolved murders they had in Manchester, from Gunchester days to the present. There's currently an investigation to someone that's suspected of being murdered. I hope he's not. He's just been missing for a week or two, or 3 weeks. But yeah, like I say, the police are chasing the tails when it comes to crime. The 3 steps behind, and ironically, the police hands, because of the government cutbacks, are tied. How ironic is that? Police are used to cuffing people up and stuffing them and putting them in prison and police cells and prison and everything, but it's actually the government and the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Justice, that have tied the hands of the police, which is a green light for criminals to go and commit these sorts of crimes. I don't want people to do that. I'm not telling people to do that, but it's just a fact. Now, if I can see it, right, even this guy on Twitter, this police commissioner guy, he said to me, he tweeted me and said, look, like he retweeted what I put and then said, when criminals are seeing that it's a green light, then the government needs to act. But it's all penny pinching by the government. All these government, they should start taking pay cuts themselves, but it's not going to happen. There's too many MPs, too many people in society with fucking jobs in the government and MPs and prison system and justice system that have all got fucking jobs that they don't need. It's just like, it fucking winds me up, man. It really does. Prisons are overcrowded. Fucking people are killing each other on the streets. You've got fucking terror threats. You've got radical preachers like Anjem fucking Chowdhury, who's now been jailed. He's now in prison, due to be sentenced next month. But you've got him shouting his shit on the streets of London, saying death to white people, death to the West. Fucking, the country's to the fucking dogs, mate. You've got no police, you've got no border agency, and then the police wonder why there's a problem with fucking gun crime and knife crime and everything else. All that fucking police do now are release statistics. They arrest people, rightly or wrongly. They charge people fucking wrongly. I've been arrested myself. I've got fucking paperwork to prove that. The police are a non-entity. They're outgunned. They're outmanned. The resources are not there. The funding's not there. So the police can't go after every crime. So if you're in that bracket of crime where the police don't investigate, all you've got to do is look at the news, see what crimes are going undetected, and if you wanted to commit them sorts of crimes, you could go and do that, knowing. But I think any crime, I think you'll commit any crime, and I think the police are powerless to stop you because they're overstretched, overworked, massively understaffed, and they've got fucking low morale. And like I say, that's a good thing for criminals. As a reformed criminal, it doesn't affect me either way. I just comment on these sorts of things that I've got experiences of now. Attitudes of the police racism, police brutality, police corruption, dwindling police numbers, soaring crime rates are all reasons why the British public have lost faith in the police and the justice system, because it's fucked. That's my honest opinion. I'm entitled to it. Like and share my video. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. Follow me on Twitter @CodyLachey. Thanks for your time, guys. Take care. God bless. Bye.